Hi everyone, this time we will be discussing about listening, specifically remedial instruction for listening. In this video, we will explore about definition and importance of listening, the factors affecting students' listening comprehension, and the ways and strategies to improve students' listening comprehension. So, what is listening? Listening is one of the four main language skills. Also, it is the ability to understand spoken language. Another is that it involves actively receiving and comprehending auditory information. Also, listening is an essential skill in language learning and communication. Listening includes being able to comprehend conversations, lectures, presentations, and audio materials. This time, we will have the importance of listening as a language skill. First, listening is important in communication. Listening allows us to understand and interpret what others are saying, which is crucial for effective communication. It helps us engage in conversations, follow instructions, and respond appropriately. Second, listening is important for comprehension. It helps us understand meaning and context. It allows us to grasp the main ideas, details, intentions behind the words spoken. The third is language acquisition. So listening as a language skill is important in language acquisition. Listening plays a vital role in language acquisition. Learners will be exposed to authentic language use, which includes vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and intonation patterns. It is important to improve one's language skill and speaking ability. The fourth is academic and professional success. Why is listening important in academic and professional success? It helps us understand lectures, instructions. It enhances critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making. So, in the event that a student will now proceed to higher level of education or will now be employed, listening is an important skill. What are the factors affecting students' listening comprehension? Okay. So there are factors that might hinder one's listening comprehension. And we, as teachers, we need to know these factors for us to be able to address the problem. The first is language proficiency. Students who have a strong foundation in the language they are listening to will generally have better comprehension skills, which would include vocabulary language, grammar understanding, familiarity with idiomatic expressions. Next is background knowledge. Now, prior knowledge and familiarity with the topic being listened to can greatly enhance comprehension. So if your students are really familiar with the idea of the topic being listened to, it may be the audio material that you are using is coming from the region, coming from the place where you are having your actual teaching, then that would serve as an advantage for them to be able to understand what they are listening to. Next is the listening skills. For the listening skills, example is the note-taking, or there are other active listening skills. Now, if your students were taught how to take down notes efficiently and effectively, then that would help them become effective listeners, because that would lead to proper retention and understanding of the information. Next, listening strategies. Listening strategies, we mean that These are the strategies which may come in form of the like summarizing, clarifying, predicting. And this enhances comprehension. Students who employ these strategies while listening are better to make sense of the information. So, teachers, it is important to address, no? There are those students who are not really good in summarizing what they have listened to or in predicting what might happen next. So these are some of the strategies that we should employ in our actual teaching. And the last is the listening environment. Now, the listening environment impacts students' comprehension. Factors like background noise, no, while they are listening to the audio, distractions, and the quality of audio can affect how well students understand the information presented. This time, we will have the ways or the strategies on how we can improve students' listening comprehension. Again, what we discussed before, that listening comprehension is very important, or listening is an important skill in language acquisition. So how do we improve students' listening comprehension? First, engage students in pre-listening and post-listening activities. So if you are a teacher and you would like your students to develop their listening comprehension, now one thing to note is that you can engage the students in pre-listening and post-listening activities. What are examples of pre-listening activities? You may have brainstorming, related vocabulary, or you can have discussion of the topic or predicting the content. So you may give the title or the topic about the audio that they will be listening to, and they can first brainstorm about their background knowledge about the topic. Then they may also discuss about it or even predict what do they think will happen in the audio that they will be listening to. So those are pre-listening activities. Next is post-listening. Post-listening activities, you may have discussions, debates, even role plays, and writing reflections. So before the student will listen to an audio, you need to have pre-listening activities. After the listening activity, you need to have the post-listening activities. Students may discuss with their partner or in a group. They may come up with reflections about the thing or the material that they have listened to. Second, teach students active listening techniques. What are active listening techniques? First, they need to develop the skill to focus on the speaker or to give their attention to the speaker. Second is taking down notes, which is an important skill in listening. Third is highlighting key points. It may also include identifying main ideas, supporting details, and even for them to identify the speaker's tone and the attitude just by listening to the audio. Third is expose students to a variety of authentic listening materials. What are these authentic listening materials? This includes podcasts, news broadcasts, TED Talks, or even interviews. So these are materials that reflect real-world language use. It helps students to be exposed to different accents, speech patterns, and vocabulary. Fourth is provide comprehension questions or tasks related to the listening material. It helps students focus on specific details or main ideas. Also, It encourages students to answer in complete sentences. And you need to let the students discuss their answers in pairs or small groups. So these comprehension questions or tasks must be related to the listening material. So after the students will listen to the audio, you as the teacher must give comprehension questions or follow-up questions for you to really determine if they have understood the audio. Fifth is help students expand their vocabulary by introducing new words. Now, this happens before the actual listening to the audio. You need to present the words that they may find difficult. So you need to let them discover or use context clues about the meaning if the words are new to them. And the last, provide opportunities for students to listen to the same audio multiple times. Why is there a need for students to listen to the same audio not just once but multiple times? Okay, this repetition would help them really understand the material. Repetition helps reinforce comprehension and allows students to notice new details. Listening to the audio many times would let them understand the content. It may be that on the first try, they will not understand it well, but as they listen to it many times, they will develop deeper comprehension of the material. Hence our discussion about listening, its definition, importance, factors affecting students' listening comprehension, and the strategies that teachers may employ to improve students' listening comprehension. According to Dr. Seuss, the more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Thank you so much for listening.